Hello, welcome. You are on the Heart of Success show, and I'm your host, Larisa Vakulina. I go live every Wednesday at 2 p.m. South Australian time zone. And here on this show, I speak about success. Let me just check something. I haven't noticed here that my LinkedIn live is not actually going on. So let me just fix it. Sorry, save changes. Hopefully that will go live there too. I'm sorry for that, but we live in a technological world, and sometimes we have some trouble with internet connection or something else. I hope that everything is fine. I was checking today my microphone and it was not really working properly. So if you are watching right now and everything is fine, can you give me a thumb maybe in the comment area, or somehow let me know everything is fine. So here on this show, I am talking about success. And we all know if we have success, external success, like when we have, you know, wealth creation and role playing and all of these external, symbolic and real signs of success, most likely it is achieved with a great effort, and it is not sustainable. So this success also achieved probably from that mind area and never was connected with the heart, right? So on this show, I'm constantly encouraging and motivating people to look at how can we create success from that space of our heart, from that purposeful place within ourselves, so that we can actually create effortless impact in our lives, and also impact into the positive impact into the world. Well, today I was thinking to talk about self-recognition. This is so important. We so easy recognize and give ourselves credit in all these strengths that we have, in all the great skills that we have, in all of these flattering traits that we possess, and we so willingly would like to share and display and go in life with all of these character structures and things that we like about ourselves, but we so lazy and we so blind to look at the areas of where we self-judge ourselves, where we actually not recognizing ourselves. We actually turn away to look at these areas within ourselves, so that we believe that this is so bad, and we even try to hide it from ourselves. So I'm inviting you to recognize your whole self, everything within yourself, the good, the bad, and something that you believe maybe sits in the in duality at this stage, right? So recognize your body, recognize that portions of yourself that is not in unity yet. Recognize your whole psyche, your all cells, your mitochondria that is actually waiting for you to be recognized, because only when you are fully united with yourself, only then you start to really have the process of healing. You start to have the process of developing and creating your leadership. I was talking about leadership on my previous two episodes, and in this time of the history where the great leaders are created, we are invited to actually shift our focus from external successes and go within into our internal landscape and start to recognize all that we are. and recognize that you are the gem. You hold your gift and your talent in that places that you don't recognize. So, and this paradigm of rigid rules and rigid standards that we are living in, of how we need to behave or how we have to present ourselves, is really not serving us well, because this is really is not recognizing wholeness of who you are, right? And this paradigm is everywhere. Like where we look at the let's say we're looking for a job, and we always present ourselves in all of this very flattering, very strength, we present strengths, we present our skills, we present all of these qualities, the great qualities that we recognize, and employers are really looking at this strengths that we have. But really, in reality, sometimes it is very illusionary deal, because I believe that new evolved leaders and employers need to look at also the areas where you can improve yourself, where you didn't recognize yourself, and start to motivate and have inspiration for people to look at these areas and recognize them as a separated places within yourself. You create that wall, you wall off your part of yourself, right? And self-justification come because you have this self-judgment. So it's like you split yourself into two parts. One half of it saying, well, I'm justifying myself, and another part is you justifying yourself because you self-judging yourself. So this all is actually not necessary, because all of this split and separation of yourself with self-judging and self-justifying yourself, taking all your energy from creating the united and recognized wholeness of who you are. And that way you glossing over and masking and basically pretending not to look at the areas that needs to be recognized, that needs to be healed, that needs to be integrated into the wholeness of who you are. And if you're not recognizing that these parts of yourself, well, this automatically you're not recognizing the same parts of this in others, right? And that these dynamics go forever. So and that's where the new evolved advanced leaders needs to start to step up, start to work with themselves to recognize fully of who they are and how they gonna to improve and work within themselves through their own inner process, so that they can help others to do the same, right? So and another part of this is really important, is because it's connected so much to the self-recognition, is self-care, right? So I know most of us, through all of these indoctrinated rules and rigid standards, love to take care of others. That caring of the other is actually proportionate to not caring to yourself, right? It's like that dynamic going on because of the a lack of worthiness for yourself. That's what you do. If you not valuing yourself, you take care of to that extent for the other. But really, I mean, as much as it is important to really care for others, in the beginning first, we really need to look, how can we care about ourselves? And is it physical health? Is this is emotional health? Is this is relationship? Is this is professional? So there's different areas of care self-care that we a lot of time ignoring and avoiding, because we're thinking that we are nice and good and popular and admired when we look after the others. But really, if you tell to yourself some criticizing things about your own not recognized, unflattering places, well, then eventually you will tell the same about others. If you if you if your heart cannot hold, or what I'm saying here is that we cannot force by will uh, to and by the instruction of our mind to stop feeling the pain of not recognizing yourself and keep judging ourselves and keep justifying ourselves, because the mind cannot make this instruction to actually stop feeling the pain. But what the mind can do is to focus attention to infuse this pain into your heart area. What mind cannot forgive, heart can forgive. Well, this is the inner process of your own choice and how you actually deal with that pain. If you choose to wall off all of these unrecognized areas of yourself, well, then you keep justifying yourself, you keep blaming others, you keep self-judging, self-criticizing yourself, and that regardless of how many times you give instruction to your mind or give forceful intention to not feel that pain, it's not gonna to work. The mind only can help you by focusing it, to infuse that pain into the heart area. Well, this is really is the function of our mind. So I would like to maybe just go over 3 points of today's episode. How can we really honor ourselves and recognize the wholeness of who we are? We need to really become aware of how do we, in disproportional degree, caretaking of others, right? If that is something that going on in your life, well, you're not recognizing parts of yourself, you're not valuing these parts of yourself, and you're trying to do it and project with caretaking on others. So that's point 1. Be aware of that and start to balance all of this disproportionate way of taking care of others, right? Like maybe you need to have that balanced self-care and a caring for others, right? The second point is recognize that self-judgment and self-justification is a split of your intention, right? And that's really needs to be also in your awareness, because once you self-judge yourself, there's always self-justification is accompanying that, right? So that's really important to understand. If you catch yourself doing this, well, then it's time to start to recognize fully who you are in all your beauty, in all your divinity, in all your power, that you are here in this time in history to do exactly that. The time of suppressing half of yourself or parts of yourself is over. Right now, in this time of the history, great leaders are created, and exactly by doing self-recognition, right? Number 3 is we need to start to move into self-responsibility. Stop stopping the pain. So stopping the pain, because that's what we're doing. We're splitting ourselves and we're basically fragmenting ourselves only because we're afraid that pain of separation, right? So instead, focus your mind to move it into the heart area and start to infuse that pain. And it only takes a few minutes to do that. Once your mind knows where to focus on, right? So I know it's like the time right now is so challenging and it is so difficult to actually get into your center, start to really move into your heart area and stop paying attention to all of this terror or informational terror and all of these ups and downs in the energy level. We all in it, we all experiencing that. And the only healing can happen when you actually go into your center, into that gem that you polished for centuries and centuries and centuries. And once you can do it, you can assist others to do it as well. Um, I just, motivate over and over and over again in all my episodes that this is super important at this time of the history, that we ground ourselves in our core. We ground ourselves in our heart space, and only from that area we can actually not only change and assist ourselves to be more confident, to be in peace, but we also can do the same with others. Because the energy of the groundness and the energy of the centering is so calming and it is so helping for others. So I would like to go for the comments here, and thank you to be here, MJ. Again, thank you for your support, constant support. I really appreciate that. It is so important to celebrate oneself. It's not only about celebration. There's a little bit of confusion going on. I mean, we, of course, love to celebrate some parts that we love about ourselves, but it is so hard for people to recognize the parts that needs to be healed, the parts that needs to be improved and that needs to be transformed from that duality place into the place of unity. And only through that transformational process of moving from the separation, from not recognition, from not honoring these parts, maybe because you consider them somehow not nice or somehow not up to the standard of what the external world is telling us how we have to look or be or do or behave. And this is the pain. And once we can integrate and recognize and honor all of this, even at this time, maybe places that sit still in duality, if we can just recognize them, they so quick will become unity. So this is the process, and this is something that seems very simple, but why it is so hard for people to do? It's because we have this eager and super eager sitting and controlling our lives. It's driving our lives. And this artificially created defensive mechanisms that have been created out of fear when we've been very young, we still holding them in place, and they affecting our lives dramatically. So, and I understand why it is so hard for people to actually recognize all of this and say, I want to heal myself. And it is so hard for people to actually choose to go and ask for help of healing these places within ourselves. It is because the fear of falling into that hard pain of being hopeless. When you've been child, we've been so dependent and we felt so hopeless when we feel these times when we couldn't really process the emotional pain, and we didn't know how and where to get the help because we so dependent and hopeless. And that's the fear of the adults, to fall back into that hopelessness, stop people to move into the unity and healing. Well, it's not that painful. Once you make decision and once you make that intention that I would like to help myself so that I'm dealing with this for once and for all, to actually start to improve my inner life, right? And that pain is soft pain, as opposed to the hard pain that we create when we denying, when we're not recognizing ourselves, when we keep judging self and others, when we justifying ourselves. Through these things, we create hard pain that never stops. We're suffering from it. But once we allow ourselves and have intention, I'm gonna to heal. I'm gonna to heal these parts of myself that I didn't pay attention to and I didn't really recognize. Well, then you shift that hard pain into the soft pain of being whole you. That's how you become your personal leader. This is how you can become a model for others. Because how can you help others? Only by modeling of how you do it and how you're gonna to live your life, and your experience and your way of becoming more happier, more successful, more joyful can convince others to look at you and say, I want that too. Well, thank you so much for being with me here today. I will come back next Wednesday at 2 p.m. South Australian time zone, and I will keep talking about different dynamics within ourselves that are blocking us to develop integrated, advanced, evolutionary leadership that right now the world needs from us to be. Okay, so thank you so much. I'll love you all and thank you for your support. I'm going to put some music and I see you next week.